Hey guys, we have Mike Tomlin's post-game press conference after our win versus the Indianapolis Colts. I can finally just talk normal and I don't have to avoid the fact that I already knew the result for the past few videos. Um, so, yes, we actually somehow won the game. Oh, I say somehow. It was turnovers is how we won the game. But I was fully expecting to lose by probably double digits. Hell, fans held a funeral outside the stadium for our defense, which is absolutely insane. But 6 turnovers, 5 really forced because one was just on the punt where it hits the ground, hits Josh Downs, and then Eccles recovers, right? And then you had the strip sack. I think you had another strip sack of Daniel Jones. Then you had 3 interceptions. Yeah, that sounds right. So 3 picks, 2 strip sacks. And then you had that. And then we turned the ball over one time, Roman Wilson, and that is the danger when you decide, hey, let me hurdle this guy. That is the danger of trying to do that. So, okay, I'm out of coffee. Just want to make sure. So we'll have to work on holding on to the ball if we're going to hurdle, or stop hurdling. So Steelers win 27-20. And I did see a lot of people talk about, like, you turned the ball over 6 times and you still had a shot at the end to win it, and only a 7-point deficit. Well, after the punt mishap, the Steelers went for it on 4th and goal, and everyone for the past couple weeks has talked about how Mike Tomlin is living in his fears, because that's one of his sayings, we don't live in our fears. So they're mocking him by saying, Tomlin, you're living in your fears. They're kind of just calling him a coward for not going for some 4th downs, opting for field goals. And he said after the game with the Packers, when you're facing good teams, you gotta score 7. 3 just isn't gonna cut it. And lo and behold, you have this game here where it's like, hey, 3 is not gonna cut it here. They already have 7 points. We're gonna go for this to try to make it 7-7. Didn't get it. I mean, you went to Darnell twice. I don't know how many games you're going to have where you go to Darnell, Washington in the red zone and twice in back-to-back plays, and you don't end up with either a DPI or just a defensive penalty in general, holding, whatever, or a touchdown. To have both be no flags, no touchdown, and you leave with nothing. And here's the thing, right? Like, let's say they kick it. Boz makes it because it's Boz. And we end up winning 30-20, right? Okay. It's a 10-point deficit. Now, granted, do the Colts kick that field goal at the end if you're down? You would have been down 13 because you were down 10. So you would have been down 13. Are you really kicking it? No. You're trying to score a touchdown. Now, maybe you do, maybe you don't, whatever. But at that point, it would have been 17. 30-17 the score would have been. Which, I mean, if the Colts fail on like a fourth down or something, which not likely. They were perfect on fourth down yesterday, or not yesterday, a couple days ago. They were literally perfect, like 4 of 4, 5 of 5, something like that, on fourth down. But it's just like insane that they converted all of them. But on the off chance that they don't convert, and it's the final score is 30-13, and now you're like, okay, they turned the ball over 6 times and got blown out. 17 points is a blowout. If you ask some players, anything more than one score is a blowout. Other teams or other people might say 10, 14 being a blowout. But Steelers had it was their, I hate to say their lucky day, because they did force 5 out of the 6 turnovers. It's not like every single one was the issue with the punt. Like they did force those turnovers. So it wasn't necessarily their lucky day, but it was their day to where things went their way, and they were able to sack Daniel Jones. They were able to get the turnovers they needed, and they won this game. It was just very much a surprise that we actually won this. Did not expect to, but I will happily take it. We are now 5-3, and we have a 2-game lead over the next team in the division, and we are 5-3, and we go to the Chargers, and the Colts are now 7-2. But let's see what Tomlin had to say after the game.
It was a tough week, but we certainly deserved it based on the last performance. I like the way the guys absorbed it, smiled in the face of it, and prepared and waited for the next opportunity. That's the National Football League, man. You get one shot about every 7 days, and sometimes you got to wear it. We certainly wore it this week. I'm appreciative of their spirit, their efforts, their resolve. Certainly we weren't perfect in any of the 3 phases, but we fought, we did what was necessary, we made plays. And so it's a big-time win for the collective. Can't say enough about the defense's effort to minimize the runner. I don't think you slow that group down unless you minimize the runner. And we were able to do that, and I think that's why we were able to get them in some one-dimensional circumstances, create some pressure, get some sacks, and the turnovers that go along with that. But it started with minimizing their dynamic runner, and he is that. He's dynamic. Thought we started a little slow on offense. We took the ball to keep the ball away from their dynamic offense, but we didn't do much with it there early. But again, it didn't overcome us. We stayed in the fight. The defense provided some short fields. We caught some momentum because of it. That's team football. Isaac Seumalo's got a peck. Wasn't able to finish. We got some other guys with some bumps and bruises. I think Slade dislocated his finger, was able to go back in. Can't say enough about Kyle Duggar. Just gave him a game ball in there.
Yeah.
This guy got on the move and train, man, and played a lot of defense for us today, and we needed it. We were really short at the safety position tonight, coupled with D. Elliott's injury. With some illness and some soft tissue injuries, man. We were running super thin, and that dude came in here, man, and gave us some quality work, and we're certainly appreciative of that. Questions?
How do you explain such a drastic difference? You shut down the run, take the ball away. That's a high-scoring team in the league.
It's a fine line between drinking wine and squashing grapes in this business. It's nothing dramatic, it's really not. And that's why we respect it so much. Couple plays here and there that might have been different last week. We don't give up the 59-yard ball, the 33-yard ball. We don't let them convert on 4th and 1 in the flat, for example. in the third quarter. That's football.
Lots of big plays last
at this
week.
level. It's a limited number of plays or sequences that can really change the trajectory of an outcome. We're still the same group that stunk it up last week. That's football.
You call that 4-3 alignment, and what was the thinking behind using that?
I'm not going to get into detail there, but we're just trying to utilize the people that we had at our disposal. We were limited in a lot of ways.
Why
in
give away
secondary.
the ingredients
So,
to a hot dog?
the people that have been here, we had to find ways for them to contribute, and so it got us out of this week. We'll see what next week holds.
A lot of times when you guys have combated the quick passing game, you've been very proficient at batting the ball down at the line of scrimmage. It seems like you got back to that today. Was that an area of emphasis?
We're always on that. Sometimes we're successful, sometimes we're not. It's not like all of a sudden we're in that business this week. We're in that business every week.
Like what kind of momentum or wave did that TJ strip sack provide for you?
It was everything. You know, we were running on the beach offensively. We needed a short field. And,
I get
like
it.
all great players do, man, he provided it when we needed it most.
Coach, I talked to Joe Hayden a couple weeks ago, and he was saying one of the indicators about you when you kind of tweak things. He said it always shows. We talked about your Super Bowl victories near Tampa. So this week, did you take any extra care, maybe, of maybe tweaking some things, as Joe would say?
It is my job to do what's required to provide these guys what it is they need, formally and informally, strategically. It's just a job.
I know last week you somewhat bemoaned having to settle for field goals, but 3 of their turnovers turned into touchdowns. So I'm assuming, now obviously that was big for your offense and defense.
It was just it was complimentary football, you know. But that's what happens when you take the ball away from people, man. It feeds itself, and you know that's probably one of the most disappointing things about the stretch that we were on. We weren't taking the ball away. That's the lifeblood for us, not only as a defense but as a football team. It's a catalyst for how we engineer victory.
Didn't completely end the game, but what can you say about Joey making that play on this day with his dad and that 05 team here?
Hey, you know, first I just gotta, you know, acknowledge that 05 team. It was really good to see them. It's really good to perform for them this weekend, man. They are deserving of that. I know a lot of those men and work with a lot of those men, man. They're a special group, and I hope that they had a great
Tomlin
time
took the job
fellowshipping
2 years
and
after that
reminiscing and
Super
doing
Bowl.
the things that come with these type weekends. But certainly that was a significant play by Joey. We had a lot of significant plays that we did, and a lot of contributions from a lot of people.
Better about how you guys handled the tight end this week. I know you spoke about him a lot in your Tuesday press conference. The guys on defense did. What did you like about that?
We just did a nice job of eliminating the intermediate passing game off the play pass. But again, as I mentioned, you don't get a chance to do that unless you're minimizing the run. If they're running the ball successful on you, that intermediate play pass is what comes next. And so we were able to maintain control of the run game, and it minimized some of that intermediate passing game that really features his talents and where they're really trying to get him the ball. I think that was you know, the synopsis of the entire day. Really, anything that we did defensively, it started first and foremost with minimizing Taylor.
Coach, can you talk about Jalen Ramsey, the importance of Jalen Ramsey? He didn't move around a lot today. He pretty much stayed at safety.
I can't say enough about Jalen. Jalen does any and everything that we require for him to do. We needed him to play exclusively free safety today, and he did. He did it at a high level. I'm just glad he's on the team.
You describe the resiliency of this group, particularly your defense.
We're going to keep writing that story. We responded today. See you next week.
As far as the impact of Peyton Wilson in this game and how far has he come just this season?
You know, it's a reasonable expectation. A second-year player who played a lot last year, made some plays last year. It's a natural progression when you got a good relationship with the game, you work the way that he works, and you have the talent that he has. I don't think anybody is surprised by the impact and the general trajectory of his game.
Coach, and your thoughts on just Jack Sawyer making the splash play, his interception?
Man, the sun's always shining on Jack Sawyer. He's a 5-star.
Week, Mike, did you know that Duggar was going to have to be in there as much as he was?
Probably about Thursday, we knew we had an issue. But again, you know, he's a veteran guy, and that's why you go get a veteran capable guy like that. It's reminiscent of when we acquired Minka Fitzpatrick, to be quite honest with you. He got
Well, he wasn't really
to
a
us at a
vet.
similar time during the week. We were out in the Bay Area, man, and he fit right in instantly. His talent showed. He made plays for us. Felt similarly with the contributions we were able to get from Duggar today.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
So yeah, Duggar came in last week and had to play due to injuries to other guys. I did see that Dribill Peppers, or just Pep as they call him, but Pep had to kind of be the translator for Duggar for the defense. So the way I kind of equate it is, let's say there's a recipe, and the recipe is written in Italian, and like let's say I'm fluent in Italian, which I'm not fluent. I know some, but I'm not fluent. But let's say I was, and you don't know a lick of Italian, right? So I translate the recipe for you from Italian to English. And I tell you, okay, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And that's kind of what Peppers was doing, is he's like, hey, you know this play call in New England? Yeah? Okay, great. That's this here. So this is how it's similar. This is where it changes. This is what this means, that means. He's being the translator for Duggar. So that way he can run the Steelers' defense at least semi-competently. And he was able to do that. And he got a game ball for his efforts. Ramsey had to play free safety today. And also Duggar, I didn't notice him, which is good and bad, right? I didn't notice him, so it means he wasn't making game-changing plays. But also, I didn't notice him. He wasn't giving up those game-changing plays. He was fine. He was doing his job, right? So, to only be there less than a week and I didn't have to really notice you, okay, cool. Maybe other people did, but I did not notice him personally. So he was at strong. Jalen was at free. Then you have Joey Slay on the outside. Eccles playing slot. It would be great if we have to continue to do that, to have Corey Trice back. I know he's in his 21-day window to return. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, the Steelers did what was necessary in limiting Indy's stars from making big plays, and they were able to walk out of there with the victory. So we're going to move on to the players. If you did enjoy this video, please do leave a like. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on. I'll see all you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.